Torah Or, parshat Shemot, page Nun, first column, like halfway down in the first column. Okay, Al Rebbe is explaining that the vessel for Elokus, for the neshama in Gan Eden to be able to handle the infinite level of Elokus, is the level of Torah. And he explained there's the Masechtes, the Mishnah, which is the level of Chochmah, and then the Braisos is also the external level of Chochmah, and then it comes into Talmud, which is Bria, which is Alamesei Mispar, the infinite Liban Hilchasa, refining the Alocha in the Bavli, and that is the, so he says like this, that's the inyan of Eila Shmeis B'nai Yisrael, the names of the Yidden, coming down to Mitzrayim, which refers to the time of Golus, and then he starts explaining like this, the Shmei HaGadol is the level of the way Elokus comes into the world. Yud is the level of Chochmah Tzimtzum, and then it comes into the level of Hey, and so on. These less to the Alter Rebbe. It doesn't say, but Vav is bringing Elokus down into lower levels, and then the final Hey is the way Hashem created the world with. Okay, so this is what he's saying. Okay, let's start exactly in the middle of the first column, right after a parentheses. And then this level of Elokus comes down lower and lower to become Eisis Adibor Vim Kolzan nevertheless. The Alter Rebbe said like this, what we learned yesterday. The letters of Machshava and Dibor come from Seichel. But the Seichel comes down in a much lower level when you limit it in thought or speech. But even though you're limiting the Seichel in the words, whether it's thought or speech, nevertheless in it is the whole Seichel. It's limited, but the whole Seichel is in it. Because the person's thought is based on the Seichel. You have a deeper Seichel, you have a deeper Machshava. From the speech of a person, you can know, people, Shlomo Melech writes in Mishlei, a fool, when he's silent, also seems to be smart, appears to be smart. Once he opens his mouth, he puts his foot into his mouth. In fact, that's how the previous Rebbe said in the Haggadah we say by the four sons, Chacham Mahu Eimer, the Rasha Mahu Eimer. So the Friedrich Rebbe said, Chacham Mahu, if you want to know who the Chacham is, Eimer, listen to the way they speak. Rasha Mahu, you want to know what the Rasha is, listen to the way they speak. So therefore he says, even though the Seichel still comes into the letters of speech, so now we can understand the level of the way Elokus, again, the Yud, the name of Hashem is the way Elokus comes down into the world. The Yud into the Hey, into the Vav, into the Hey, and it comes into letters, and the Hey, the second Hey is still connected to the first Yud. So now we can understand when he speaks about the names of a person, it's the same concept. He says, now we can understand Moshe Zayuv and Lamaila. Hagam Shenlei Dumusaguf, even though Hashem has no form of a body, he speaks and he thinks and all that. Im Kolzer, Hare Dibra Torah Koloshim B'nei Adam. Torah still speaks in the terms of humans. In other words, we learn many times, when Torah says Hashem spoke, it doesn't mean that God spoke. He doesn't have a mouth and he doesn't speak. What it means, what's the concept of speech by a person? By concept of speech we learned is there's something hidden that's not revealed. Speech reveals it. So the same thing by godly. There's a level of godliness that could create light, but it was hidden. Vayomer Elokim, Hashem spoke, meaning Hashem revealed, and that became Or. The next, if it says in the pasuk, Marabu Masach Hashem, how great are your, how many are your levels in now your actions? How great, how many is your Kulam Chachma Sisa? You made everything with Chachma. Yeah? What does that mean? The creation of the world is through Chachma. Therefore, Targum, one of the Targums, says Bereshis Bara Elokim. Bereshis normally is translated in the beginning, God created. He says Bereshis B'chuchbesa, with Chachma. Bara Elokim, it's a Shemaim Bereshis, because Chachma is called Reshis, because it's the first level. So they could find Bereshis Baralikim, Bechuchmasa Baralikim, and it's based on the pasuk. Kulam bechachma asisa. You made everything with chachma. Variksiv bedvar Hashem shenayim nasu shesavusa vayidei dibur. So look, it's a contradiction. Here we say kulam bechachma asisa. Hashem made everything with chachma, and then we say bedvar Hashem shemayim nasu with speech. So is it chachma or is it with speech? Which one did Hashem make the world with? So the answer is simple. It starts from chachma, the creation. It goes into dibur, and then it creates the world. The level of Hashem's chachma, which is not the known level of chachma, his chachma. B'dvar Hashem emasar and my modest yihi od yihido ki atachi oretz into the world of his galleon of the revealed worlds. Okay, so in other words, like this, we know in Pasuk Halio, there's a hidden worlds and there's revealed worlds. Now the definition of world is already a revelation. It is a revelation because now it couldn't be called a world. A world means there's definitions and boundaries of that world. So Alman Steeman, the hidden worlds, were created from Hashem's thought, Kaviyachol. Again, not that God thinks, but thinking is a revelation to myself, not to you. When I think something, to me it's revealed. For instance, you know a certain intellectual concept, but you're not thinking about it, you're at work, you're thinking about other things. So that concept exists, but it's not even revealed to yourself. You think about it, it becomes revealed to you. So thought is also a revelation, but only a hidden revelation. It's only to you, not to somebody else. Then you want to reveal it to somebody else, so then you speak. That's when speech comes in. So the same thing, the hidden worlds of godliness, when we say, Baruch Hashem Elokeinu min ha'olam v'ad ha'olam, from the world to world, what are we talking about? So we're talking about Baruch Hashem Elokeinu. Baruch means to bring down godliness. Min ha'olam, from the hidden worlds, ad ha'olam, to the revealed worlds. Now the hidden worlds are created with Hashem's thought, therefore they're hidden from us. They're only revealed to Hashem. And then it comes into the action worlds. So he says, so the revealed worlds come from Chokhmah into speech. The hidden worlds come from Chokhmah into thought, meaning it's more concealed. Which is Kaviyachol, the level of Hashem's thought. There's also letters in thought. Just like we have letters in speech, which are tangible letters, we also think in letters. Everybody thinks in their particular language that their letters are in. So thought is also letters. But it's hidden letters from you, at least from somebody else. It's only revealed to themselves. Like it's known to the people that look into the Zayar. In the chambers that even in the hidden worlds there's a whole world. What does the world mean? There's Shemayim, Oretz, Kechavim, Mazolis, Malachim, Neshamis. There's also a hidden world which also has the same things that revealed has. By the way, you see this in the world also. Half the world is water, half the world is dry land. Right? And the Gemara says, Kol ma sheyesh bayam, yesh bayabasha. Whatever exists on the dry land, there exists in the ocean. Just like a dry land is inanimate plant, animal, and human, in the ocean there's inanimate plant, animal, and human. What's the difference between ocean versus dry land? Dry land is visible. Ocean, you look at the ocean, all you see is ocean. Everything in it is concealed. Why is it like that in the physical world? Because in the spiritual world, there's also the level of Yam Ocean, which is the hidden worlds, which has a whole world in there. You ever see videos of the under the ocean, what goes on? It's unbelievable, mind-boggling. It's beautiful. I know there's so many doctors' offices. They always have the videos of under the ocean. It's phenomenal. You watch. It's really fascinating. And the same thing exists in the dry land. It's in dry land we're used to already, so it's not that fascinating as it is in the under the water. But that represents, by the way, the hidden worlds of godliness and the concealed worlds of godliness, and the hidden worlds and revealed worlds of godliness. And that's what we say, min ha'olam vad ha'olam. What are we saying? We should reveal the godliness in the hidden worlds, which is a much greater level of godliness. And by the way, that's the whole explanation that we learned many times in Chassidus. If Hashem Shabbos stopped creating, and we know there has to be continuous creation, so how does the world exist in Shabbos? If Hashem stopped creating, stopped speaking, so then how does the world exist on Shabbos? So the answer is, and during the week, it's with the level, so to speak, of Hashem's speech, revealed. Shabbos is a higher level, the world is existing from the level of thought, which also has the same concept of the world, heaven, earth, and everything else. Therefore, Shabbos is a higher day of the week, because there's more godliness revealed on Shabbos because it comes from a higher level.
As opposed to during the week, it's not really.
During the week is a much lower level of godliness. What?
So what stage is it during the week again?
Speech.
So isn't it? So the thought is on a higher level than the
Yeah, right. So therefore, Shabbos, the world is on a higher level, meaning more kedusha than it is during the week.
Shabbos is the culmination of the action.
Right.
It's at the end.
But from the that's one side, and from the other side, it's higher than the week.
You're suggesting that it's actually previous to it becoming verbalized.
A what?
Shabbat is the culmination of the creation.
No, that's when the world is elevated. The culmination by creation. It says, we say in Kiddush, we say in Shemot also, Vayechulu Hashemayim v'aretz v'chol tzvam. Simply, the simple meaning is, Vayechulu Hashemayim v'aretz, Hashem finished heaven and earth. Chassidus always brings down, the word Vayechulu also comes from the word kiloyan, longing, desire, to leave, to go up, elevated. Therefore, Shabbos elevates all the days of the week. Therefore, the Rebbe explained in all the siches, if there was, let's say, a holiday during the week, whether a Chassidic holiday or a regular holiday, come to Shabbos afterwards, the Rebbe said, this day, elevates even that day. It elevates all the days of the previous week, including all the holy things that happened during the week, because Vayechulu Hashemayim v'aretz v'chol tzvam means there was this longing, meaning elevation of the heaven and earth. And therefore, the Gemara says an interesting halacha. Like this, illiterates, amoritz, okay, were not believed. They used to lie. So if they said they tithed something, you didn't believe them. Amoritz, that's what it's called demai. Rabbi Yochanan, the Kohen Gadol instituted. He made a drama brings down from the Gemara that he checked out the Yidden in his time, and he found out Truma everybody gave, because Truma, one kernel feeds a whole barn, a silo. So it wasn't no big deal. But Maisa, 10%, that's it. Ask the guy for a penny, he'll give it to you. Give me 10% of what you earned this week, you forget it. It's a lot of money. So people stopped giving Maisa. And he said, even when people say they did, if they were Amaretz, whatever that means, so they weren't believed. So therefore, during the week, if an Amaretz gave you Tvua, it was Demai, like, what is it? What is it? So you had to separate, you couldn't eat it without it. But the Gemara says, Yushalmi says, Amaretz ain't a Meshakir b'Shabbos. Illiterate, on Shabbos can't lie. Therefore, on Shabbos, for Shabbos, if he says I tithe, you believe him. Why? Because this is what Yushalmi says. Kedushas Shabbos, because of the holiness of Shabbos, even an Amaretz doesn't lie. During the week he'll lie, but Shabbos not. So the Rebbe, by the way, said many times, how we find people lying on Shabbos? Because he said, meaning like this, by nature you can't lie. You have free choice to go against your nature on Shabbos and lie anyway. You know, you can go against your by nature, a Jew, the Gemara said, that's what Torah says. By nature, a Jew cannot lie on Shabbos. Therefore, if he says something, you believe him. A person lies, he has free choice. He can go against his nature. Why? Because Shabbos is a greater revelation of Elokus in the world, which doesn't allow a person to lie. That's because of Kedusha Shabbos. Because that comes to the level of Machshava. Okay, skip the parentheses, 4 lines. Vinei etzem chochma ilah. The level of chochma keidim is abshusa b'chinas almin. Meaning, the level keidim is abshusa gam b'china almin steaming. Okay, so far he's saying like this, because to understand what he's saying now. Bottom line is, the world is created with chochma, and then it comes into thought for the hidden worlds, and then it comes into speech for the revealed worlds. Which by definition means the level of chochma is higher than the world. Because when the worlds become created, when chochma comes into machshava for the hidden worlds, and dibur for the revealed worlds. But chochma itself, that's what he says, Hainu, etzem chochma lo, kedim is sabshusa b'chinas almin, the level of chochma before it comes into the world, meaning, kedim is sabshusa gam ba'almin steamin, even when before it comes into the level of machshava, that is called Yisrael Lirosh. That's the level of Yisrael. Okay? And he said, what?
In this formula, when was the time created? In between Chochmah, Machshava, and Dibur?
Time began, there's Zman and there's Seder Zman. There's a Shayrish of Zman is in Chochmah, actual Zman is Malchus. Time began, like we learned when world began. Time and place are interconnected. Definition of time is how long something exists. If there's nothing existing, then they can't say time. Right? Which answers the question, why did Hashem create the world when he did, not earlier? Right? So the answer is there was no time before worlds. So time actually begins in Bria, because Malchus comes into Bria. That's where time begins, actually. But Chassidus explains, Zaydas Manam, which means the source of time begins already in Atzilus, because the fact that it's a world, it has a place. Chochmah, Bina, Das, there's boundaries. There's boundaries and limitations there. So time has a level of source of time. Higher than Atzilus, there's no time. And therefore, like we said, what year Shver Sakalim? It's constant, it's above time and place. It is. I mean, we can't get it, because our brains don't get above time and place. But Shvira Sakel, Tzimtzum Arishin, all that is not something that happened 57, 80 years ago, or 57, 81 years ago. It's above time and place. It's constantly going.
Some argue that time had to come before, because there was no time. Without time, space couldn't happen.
It came simultaneously, not before or after.
You always say that. According to some, actually time had to come before space could happen.
You can't. The definition of time is how long something exists. If there's no something, how can you have time? It's simultaneously. That's why Zman and Mokim are connected.
Correct.
That's why the word Mazel stands for mocking. Zman. No, Mazel stands for mocking, Zman, and Loshen. Time and place, what's luck? You're in the right place at the right time, so to speak.
And say the right
And Loshen is know what to say at the right time. Smooth talker, as they say. Okay, so he says, from Shachas Chochmila l'slabish to Techelm, and then when Chochmila comes into the world, that's the level of Yaakov. Because what's Yaakov? Yud, Akev. The Yud of Yud Kev Avkei, Chochma, comes down into the level of Akev, into the lower worlds. The higher worlds of Almin Steeman are called Yisrael Lirosh, that's the head, and then when it comes down into the rest of the body, even to the heel, that's called Yaakov. Shenim Shecharim B'chinas Chochmila, which is called Yud. Nislabish B'chinas Almin. To come into the revealed words, which are the level of Akvayim, which are only healed, the Gabi Chochma Ilo Atzma. Like it says, Ha'aretz Hadem Raglai. The Ha'aretz is my footstool. Sheb'chein Etzeretz, which is Malchus. Nikra Hadem Raglai is called the footstool, which is a level of Eisis Adibur. So therefore, that's the same thing of Machshava. The Alter Rebbe is explaining over here the Shmeis B'nai Yisrael. So he says that Shmeis L'mayla, which is the level, like he says, the way Seichel comes into the speech, and then it comes, so you have hidden into Machshava and into Dibur, and then he says that level before it comes into speech or thought, that's the level of Yisrael. And then you have the level of Yaakov, the way Elokus comes already into the world, all the way down. And then it becomes a level of Akev, which is the lowest level, which is the level of heel. Therefore, Yaakov Avinu, the Medrash says, is the level of the Briach HaTichin, the middle pole of the Mishkan that went through this pole in the middle, and then returned and went from the beginning to the end, which is the level of Emes. That's the first descent. Remember, the Alter Rebbe asks at the beginning of the Maimon, why did he have to count the Eden twice? It says twice Aboy Mitzrayim. In Vayigash, when he counted the 70, it says the ones that came into Mitzrayim. It says also, Elish Meis B'nei Yisrael Aboy Mitzrayim, Yaakov Ubanov. Yaakov Ubanov. Here it says, Elish Meis B'nei Yisrael Aboy Mitzrayim. Okay.
Etya.
Right. So he says like this. In Parshas Vayigash, the first time they came down in Vayigash, that's the level of Elish Meis B'nei Yisrael Aboy Mitzrayim, Yaakov Ubanov, which is the Yerida in Meitzil Gvul to come into Al Mistimin. And therefore it says, Kam B'nei Yisrael, it says, Elish Meis B'nei Yisrael Aboy Mitzrayim, Yaakov in Vayigash, Yaakov Ubanov.
It says Yaakov, it doesn't say Yisrael.
No, it says, no. Elish Meis B'nei Yisrael Aboy Mitzrayim, Yaakov Ubanov. It says both names.
Right.
So the first one is the level of Yaakov, L'chei Nemer Kam B'nei Yisrael, Yaakov, Shebechinis Yaakov B'Shem B'nei Yisrael Yuchuna, because he's coming from the level of Chochmilo, which is the level of Yisrael, the level of Lirosh. Meaning, in Vayigash, it's Elish Meis B'nei Yisrael, Aboy Mitzrayim, Yaakov Ubanov. That means when they're coming into Golus, it's Yisrael coming now into Yaakov. Yisrael coming into Yaakov. The second time it doesn't say Yaakov. No, it says Elish Meis B'nei Mitzrayim. No, it says Es Yaakov Yishvei Sebo. Es Yaakov.
There's an et in between.
There's an S in between.
Yaakov is his children?
No. S is something inclusive, but we don't, because the other part, that's the Alter Rebbe at the beginning of the Maimon. In Parshas Vayigav it says Elish Meis B'nei Yisrael Aboy Mitzrayim Yaakov Ubanov. It doesn't say Es Yaakov. In our parsha, the second time it says Es Yaakov.
So the second one, it separates it, it's Yaakov.
We didn't learn the second one yet. We only learned the first one.
But it said the first one is
I'm not a prophet.
No, it said the first one is the level of Israel and the second one is the level of Yaakov.
No, he's saying the first one is the way Yisrael comes into Yaakov. He said, Chei Nemer Kam B'nei Yisrael Yaakov, which has been Shemi B'nei Yisrael Yuchuneh, because he's Mekabel from Chochmei Lo, which is the level of Yisrael. Meaning like this, Chochmei Ilah, Chochmei Rosh, head, Chochmah, that's Yisrael. That's the level of Chochmei Ilah. Now when Chochmei Ilah comes into the world of Yaakov, which means letters of Machshava and Dibur, it comes down, then it becomes the level of Yaakov.
That's why
So in Vayigash, there's no separation. It comes from the level of B'nai Yisrael, Yaakov. Straight from the level of Chochmei Ilah into the lower level of Dibur and speech and thought to create worlds, to come into Golus.
Vayigash merge?
No, that's in Parshas Vayigash. Vayigash means when Yaakov you met Yehuda. So he says like this, V'nei b'Golus Nemar, concerning Golus, the Pasuk says, Nun second column. V'nei b'Golus Nemar, he says, saying the later, we didn't see it, we don't see miracles. By the way, it doesn't say miracles don't happen. Miracles happen, we just don't see them. V'nei inyan eises ameisim, what does it mean, miracle? What do you mean in Golus we don't see miracles? What does that mean? So, to analyze the conception of it. What are miracles? Changing of nature. Meaning a level of godliness which is out of the ordinary. Not a natural level of godliness, Miracles is the that's the definition of a miracle, supernatural. Once it becomes natural, in other words, as Chassidus uses the expression, the definition of nature is a constant miracle.
It's constant.
A constant miracle is called nature.
Correct.
What's nature? Sun coming up in the east and the west never changes. The birth of a baby. It's unbelievable miracles. Why do we say it's natural to have a baby? It's natural for the sun to come up? Because it's a common miracle that always happens is called nature.
Same with that.
Nes Tamidi is called in Teva.
If Kriyat Yam Suf would occur
every day, so it wouldn't be...
nature.
Listen, there's what are the 7 wonders of the world? You know, there's something called the 7 wonders, Niagara Falls, whatever. Those are also miracles, unbelievable. But it's always happening, so it's not. I mean, think about it.
What about Niflaot?
Huh?
Niflaot?
What? Same thing. He says, Eisus Ameifsim. Inyan Eisus Ameifsim, right, is Shini Ateva. Lokachta, like for instance, by Mitzrayim, in this week's parshat. What did Hashem tell Moshe Rabbeinu? Lokachta mimei haya'od, take from the water of the Nile, turn into blood. That's not a normal occurrence. But, for instance, that a caterpillar turns into a butterfly, that's natural. No, why is it different than water turning into blood? Think about it. A caterpillar becomes a butterfly, yeah?
Those rings.
Not only that, you ever see a caterpillar? We were kids, all the kids went to catching caterpillars. And then, the holes, and watch a butterfly come out of it. So that's also an unbelievable miracle. It's not normal, but it happens every day, so it's not a miracle anymore. He says, and therefore, what's the union of miracle? Higher than nature. Nature is speech and thought. What's above miracle? The level of Chachma Ilah. So when there's a revelation of Chachma into Malchus, so it's a much higher level, it's called miracle. And that's why Pari said, Lo Yadaiti es Havaya ki em b'china Shem Elokim. And this Chassidus elaborates a lot. When Moshe Rabbeinu came to Pari, at the end of the parshat this week, and he said, Hashem told me to tell you, let my people go. Okay? So what did Pari say? Lo yadaiti es Hashem, v'gam es Yisrael lo yashaleach. He says, I don't know this God you're talking about. Lo yadaiti es Hashem, and I'm not sending Yedidin out. So what do you mean, Pari didn't know God? Pari's advisors later on in Chumash say, Etzpa Elokimhi. It's the finger of God. When Yosef came to interpret Pari's dreams, what did Yosef say when Pari said, I heard you interpret dreams? He said, Biladai, it's not me. Elokim Yanesh Shleim Pari. Elokim will answer Pari's dreams, meaning God will answer your dreams, right? So what do you mean, Lo Yadaitis Hashem? Pari himself said, that's Elokim.
He says Hashem, it means...
So Chassidus explains, Pari Take Nu Elokim, nature. Pari, that level of evil, Golus, Goyishkai, that's connected to nature. Lo Yadaitis Havaya, he says, Yudki Vavke, which is Hoya Hoiva V'yiyah, simultaneously above time and place. Yudki Vavke means Mahava, creator, means you're above creation and you're creating it. Pari says, my level, Pari, has no connection to that. He said, Lo Yadaitis Havaya, because Chochmi Lo, he doesn't have. So therefore he's only involved in Elokim, nature. What?
Lo Yadati. It doesn't sound Lo Yodea.
Lo Yadait is an expression, I didn't and I won't. Because he says, Ki emechin Hashem Elokim mechin tzimtzum b'dvar Hashem, that level, Iyaf shel l'shanes sidrei bereishis. You can't change nature with nature. You can't change. Light is light and dark is dark, and therefore you cannot make light dark and dark light in nature. If blood is blood and water is water, you cannot make water blood. Because nature says, this is defined as water, this is defined as blood, and that's it. You want to change blood into water, water into blood, whatever you want to do, that you need to be supernatural. Okay.